Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into something I think we can all relate to, at least a little bit. Have you ever been in that situation, that professional agreement that started with so much promise, but is now, well, it's just not working? You feel trapped, you feel powerless, and you know there's a problem. And look, that feeling is there for a good reason. A contract is a serious thing. It's a legally binding promise, and the entire point is to create certainty. So no, you can't just throw your hands up and walk away. But, and this is a really big but, that does not mean you're stuck forever when things go completely off the rails. The law actually provides a framework, kind of like a set of legitimate escape hatches for when a deal is truly, truly broken. And what's really interesting is that this entire framework, all the legal theory, it's built on a surprisingly simple foundation. It really all boils down to just 3 fundamental reasons for being able to terminate a contract. So to make this super easy to remember, we're going to call them the 3 pillars of termination. I want you to imagine your contract is a building. If one of these 3 core pillars gets knocked out, the whole thing can legally come tumbling down. Okay, so let's get into it. Pillar number 1, the most foundational one of all, the core promise. Now, in legal speak, this is called a breach of condition. A condition isn't just any old term in the contract. Oh no, it's a promise that is so vital, so absolutely central to the deal, that without it, the whole contract is basically pointless. It is the heart of the agreement. And this is a really crucial distinction. You see, on one side, you have a condition. That's the deal breaker. Think about it, a caterer not showing up to your wedding at all, that makes the entire contract worthless. But on the other side, you've got something called a warranty. That's a minor detail. So what if the caterer serves chicken instead of the fish you agreed on? Yeah, it's an issue, but it doesn't sink the entire event. For that, you're entitled to compensation, some money back. But you can't cancel the whole contract. So the key question you have to ask is this promise essential to the entire purpose of the deal, or is it just a detail? Okay, so that leads to a really good question, right? Not everything is so black and white. Not every promise is obviously a core promise or a minor detail. What about all that stuff that falls somewhere in the middle? And that brings us perfectly to our second pillar, which deals with exactly that gray area, the serious breach. Legally, these terms in the middle are called intermediate terms. You can think of them as the flexible parts of the contract. Breaking one of them, well, it might be a huge deal, or it might be a pretty small one. It really all depends on the consequences. So how do you know if you can terminate the contract? Well, it all comes down to this one critical phrase from the courts. The breach has to be sufficiently serious. See? It's not about what the term is called, it's about the impact of the failure. Sufficiently serious is all about context. Let's take an example. A 1-week shipping delay might just be a minor annoyance for, say, a shipment of books. But what if those goods are fresh flowers for a wedding? That exact same 1-week delay makes the contract completely pointless for the buyer. The breach is sufficiently serious because it literally deprives them of the whole benefit they were supposed to get. And that brings us to our third and final pillar. And honestly, this one is often the most straightforward of them all, the outright refusal. The legal term for this is renunciation, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when the other party basically throws their hands up and makes it completely obvious, either through what they say or what they do, that they are abandoning the contract. There's no gray area here. They are walking away. And this can happen in 2 main ways. First, they can just flat out tell you, hey, I'm not going to deliver those materials next month. That's a clear statement. Or second, they can do something that makes it impossible for them to follow through, like they sell that unique painting they were supposed to sell to you to somebody else instead. In either case, they've shown they have absolutely no intention of honoring the deal. So there you have it. We've walked through the 3 pillars. And understanding this framework, this isn't just for lawyers. It's a really powerful tool for anyone who enters into a professional agreement. So let's just lock this in one more time. Your right to terminate a contract hangs on one of these 3 things. A core promise has been broken, a breach has occurred that's so serious it just ruins the whole point of the deal, or the other party simply walks away and refuses to perform. You see, knowing these pillars isn't just some abstract legal theory. This is practical, real-world knowledge that empowers you. It helps you look at a bad situation clearly, understand what your options are, and know when you have every right to walk away from a deal that just isn't working anymore. So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. The next time you're looking at a contract, don't just skim the terms. Ask yourself, which of these promises are my pillars? Which ones are so fundamental to this deal that if they failed, this whole agreement would come crumbling down? Knowing the answer to that? Well, that's your first and best line of defense.